Akadosh Boker Or, Masechet Menahot, Daf Yomi, Daf Samech Zayin Amud Aleph 67a1. It says as follows: Gilgul Hekdesh Poter. When you're going to come and you're going to do the kneading of the dough in the possession of Hekdesh, it's going to be Poter from Chala. So when you're basically going to do the kneading, turning around, doing all the things, it's going to be Patur. The Tanam, as we learned in the Mishnah, Gdisha Isata Shelo Gilgela. If you made it Ekdesh before you came and you started rolling it, Uvdata, and then you came and you redeemed it, when it's right, yeah, Chayevet, you're going to be Chayav, and taking off, separating Chala. Mishi Gilgela, but if it's after they already did the Gilgela, and then Pidata, you're going to be Chayevet. However, though Ikdishat Shelo Gilgila. But what happens if you did the Ekdesh before the Gilgul, before rolling the kneading of the batzek, right? The kneading of the dough. The Gilgila Gizbar, and then the Gizbar was the one that did it. And then afterwards you redeemed it. It's going to be Patur from Chala. Shebeshat Chovata, because during the time of the Chovah, Haita Ptura, it was already going to be Patur. So by Rava comes and he asks, Gilgul ovet kochavimai, what's the halacha if the goy is going to do the gilgul, meaning that it was in his possessions? Mitna tnan, right? We learned, ger shenit kayer vaytalu isa. One of them when a ger converts, and he had a dough. Na'asad shelo nitkayer patur. If it was done, meaning nitkalgel before the giur, is going to be patur from chala. But once he became a ger, he's going to be chayav in chala. So basically, we're talking about separating chala. I don't know if usually the women do this, so men don't know a lot about this. But Bekisur, when a woman makes a batch of chala, so she has to separate chala, right? She has to separate, right? That usually used to go to a kohen. Nowadays, we don't know who's for sure kohanim, so usually they burn it or whatever it is. The double wrap it, they'll throw it out, whatever it is. But that's the concept. Are you chayav in chala or not? Safek. If it was a safek, whether he did it before he was converted or not, it's going to be chayav. Haman ktanila. Who's the one that taught this? Divrei koli. It's everybody. Fafilu Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yudah, and even according to Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yudah, the k'mechayev hatam that it says you're going to be chayav over there. Pater hacha, they're going to say you're going to be patur over here. Hatam over there to do with maaser. It's written the ganecha yetera. It's written twice the ganecha. So since it's written two the ganechas extra, each one is coming to teach you that it's only yours and not of the goy, because the ganecha, your grain, and not the grain of a goy. So have a miut miut. So it's a double negative. It's a double exclusion. So whenever you have a double negative, it becomes a positive. So if you oved kochavim, so even an oved kochavim is going to be chayav maaser. But over here, it's written twice arisotechem. One of them is kedei arisotechem, and one of them is not isat of the kochavim, v'lo isat ekdesh. So therefore, one of them is teaching you that it has to be your dough and not the dough of a goy or ekdesh. Or Dilma, or maybe it's going to be Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon Ktanila. The kapatri that they say you're going to be patur. Avar Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yudah Gamri, but Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yudah, they learn it from Reshit, Mehatam, from over there, from Maaser. So Amar Rava says, Yehi Rava dichazya bechelma. It should be a ratzon, it should be the will of Hashem that we should see it in a dream. This is the first time we actually see something very similar, no? I mean, basically, he's praying, right, that he should see in a dream what the answer is. So, Pamal, you've got a doubt. You come and you say, Bezrat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu, let me have a dream tonight, and I'm going to have the dream of the answer. Uh-huh. It's not bad, no? So, Hadar Amar Rava. Then Rava came and he said, Man de Amar, according to the Man de Amar that says, Miruach Oved Kochavim, it's poter. Gilgula Oved Kochavim poter. Man de Amar, Miruach Oved Kochavim eno poter. Gilgula Oved Kochavim eno poter. So Eitvei Rav Papa Rava, so asks Rav Papa to Rava, Oved Kochavim Shifrish Peter Chamor, when you have an Oved Kochavim that he separated a Peter Chamor, Vechala, or he separated Chala, Modim Oto Shu Patur. So we're going to tell him that he's Patur. So imagine, he separated a Bechor, a Peter Chamor, that means he separated a Chamor for the Bechor, or, right, Chala. So we tell him, he's Patur from doing that. Vechalato, נאכלת לזרים, ופטר החמור גוזז ועובד בו. Meaning, since his chala is completely patur, anybody could eat his chala. You don't need a kohen to eat his chala. Anybody. even to strangers. Yeah, and then it says the peter chamor that he separated, you could shear the wool, you could work it, you could do whatever you want. However, though, trumato asura, the truma that he separates is going to be asur. The haitana da amar miruach ovin kovim no poter. It's going to be patur. Gilgul ovin kovim is going to be poter. Ve'od itfei Ravina Rava, and also Ravina is going to ask another question to Rava. Chalat of the kochavim ba'aretz, trumto b'chutz la'aretz. Chalat of the kochavim that he separated in Eretz Yisrael, and the truma that he separates outside of Eretz Yisrael. Modino toshu patur. We're going to tell him that he's going to be patur. Chalatane chalazun trumoto no ma'at. It's nothing. Ha trumato ba'aretz. But if he took off truma in Eretz Yisrael, it's going to be asura medamat. Ve'ha haitana udamar minu chovik chovim minu poter. Gilgul is going to be poter. So you see from here that this Tana is the one that holds that the chala that he separates from the Isa, which was done in Eretz Yisrael, is not chala at all. So therefore, there's going to be a difference between the miruach oved kochavim and the gilgul oved kochavim. Not like Rava. The miruach oved kochavim has to do with trumot to masrot, because when they put it in a pile, it's called miruach, right? But the gilgul is when you're kneading it as a dough. So answers the Gemara. So really, Be'emet, when we said that miruach oved kochavim is not patur from truma, it's only midrabanan. Kezira mishum ba'ale kisim, because of the ashirim. This is incredible. The ashirim, right now you understand why they're ashirim. The rich people, what they would do is since they had to separate so much of Trumot Masrot, in order to become patur, they used to acquire it to a goy that he should do the miruach. And then by doing that, he's going to be patur from tevuah, from the Masrot and the tevuah. So in order to that the rabbis should get out of this problem, they made a decree that even a goy has to do it as well. Everyone understood what happened? One more time. Exactly. That means, for example, right, let's say, for example, a person has to come and they have to give 10% to the IRS. Yeah. So what do? Right. That's a big amount. Imagine a person's making millions of dollars. 10% is a huge amount. So what do? The IRS say that if you acquire it to whoever it is, you're going to be exempt. So what did these rich people do? The rich people came, they had so much money. They went and they acquired it to the goy that is exempt. And therefore, they acquired it during the time that he's doing the piles. That's the time that you're going to be chayav. When the goy finishes, now he gets it back. And then he says, listen, I'm patur, I don't have to give any taxes. I don't have to give anything. That's what they used to do. So the rabbis, in order to get out of that, the rabbis said, you know what? Even if a goy does it, you're chayav. So therefore, that's it. So now they don't get anything. You understand? That's what he had to do for the rich people. Okay? So Zayin Mubet, 67b. Exactly. There's nothing new under the sun. Completely. Yeah, nothing new under the sun. Yeah, fine. So he says, Ihachi if so, right? 67b. Ihachi if so, afilu chala nami. So therefore, even chala is going to be the same thing. Right? What does that mean? Even chala is going to be the same thing. Even chala, we should also make the same gezerah, that in order to obligate a goy, because if not, somebody's going to try to get out of it. So answers the Gemara, Efshar da'afila pachot michameshet revayim kemach ve'od. He says, no, but even a Jew could get out of it. You know how? Just bake it, right? Small amounts. And then you also get out of it. Meaning, the Trumot Masrot, there was no way to get out of it. The only way was to give it to a goy. And therefore, what they did is that they did this combina, right? They did this trampa, they did this trick in order to get out of it. So the rabbi said, you're still chayav. To do with a frashat chala, anyways, you could always do a small amount. And then even the Jew gets out of it. So it didn't make sense to come and to start obligating, right? Because if they would do it to a goy, because if you really wanted to get out of it, just do a small amount. And when you do a small amount, that's it. You got out of it. You don't have the problem. Okay? So says the Gemara, Truma Nami. One second, Truma also, you could do the same thing. Like Rav Oshia. Tamar Rav Oshia, משאלה אדם על תבואתו מכניסה במות שלה כדי שתהיה בהמה אוכלת, ופטורה מן המעשר. He says, if you want to bring it into your house, you could bring it into your house in a fashion that it's going to be patur from maaser. Inami, or you're going to bring it through the roof. Because basically, since it says that it has to be in the petach habayit, the entrance of the house, if you bring it through your roofs, you're going to be patur from maaserot. So answers the Gemara, Hata mefarhesia v'zila bimilta. V'hacha betzina lo zivimita. Meaning like this. If I come and I see this rich guy bringing trumot masrot through the roof, everybody sees him. So since everybody sees him and he's bringing it from the roof, it's an embarrassment. Why? Because everybody knows that he's doing that to cheat the system. So when he's doing that in front of everybody, he's not going to do that. Why? I'm looking, I'm watching, right? Imagine I'm walking by the main street, and I come and I see this guy in the roof taking down all his fruits and vegetables and everything through the roof, right? Inside of his house. So everybody knows, look at this cheapskate. Look at this guy. This guy rich. Now you understand why he's rich. You understand? Look at it. It's a zilzul. So because it's zilzul, he's not going to do such a thing. That he's not going to do. But he says over here, this is done betzina. This is done privately. If it's done privately, nobody knows what you're doing. So therefore, that's why they had to make this gizera, because if not, then you're going to get out of it in this fashion. Okay, Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, Balo li saron, venatan shamno ulvanoto. So right now you come and you're going to come to the solet, which was already prepared for the korban omer, and you put the shemen in levuna, yatzaku balal, you come and you start mixing it together, you knead it together, eni fegish, you wave it, you bring it to the mizbeach, you do the kmitza, you're maktir the komets of the levuna on the mizbeach, and all the rest of the korban omer is going to be eaten for the kohanim. משקרב העומר, once the omer is brought, יוצאים ומוציאים שוק ירושלים שהוא מלא, קמח וקלי. You come out and you see the entire shuk of Yerushalayim full of קמח וקלי. Yeah, שלא ברצון החכמים, but that was without רצון החכמים. דברי רמיר. Yehuda says, no, 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 they were doing it ברצון חכמים. So obviously we're going to have to say what was the machloket exactly, whether it was done with the רצון חכמים, not רצון חכמים. You know, we'll speak about that. Fine. Says the Gemara, ולא גזר רבי יהודה דילמאתי למיכל בני. He says, one second. Why don't we come and suspect that they're going to eat the Isur? Or meaning we have a contradiction. Rabbi Yehuda comes and he says, both kinema or Barabasar, you're going to check, right? This Pesach, Hilchot Pesach. You're going to check Chametz on the 14th of Nisan, right? Now, if Barabasar Shachrit, if you didn't do it in the nighttime, you're going to do it on the morning of Erev Pesach, Uveshata Biur, Chachamim come and say, no, 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 Lo Badak, right? If you didn't check, you didn't check. So therefore you see from here that there's going to be a machloket. You suspect that because are you going to eat the isur or not? So Amar Rabba says Shani Chadash. Chadash is different. Mishut tok shelo tartalo ela lide kituf zachuru. Since the only way to permit the Chadash is only when you're going to do kituf, because here it says it's a suminat Torah to reap before the Ksirat Omer. So therefore, you're only allowed to do it with your hand, without the sickle. So therefore, you're going to remember that in itself, you're not allowed to eat it. So therefore, it's like a reminder, right, that you're not allowed to come and you're not allowed to eat it.